What's good, combat sports fans? You already know it's your boy Bando back at it with another episode, a little quick episode because I gotta come through with a little quick breakdown for this Canelo Berlanga fight. So let's get right into it. Let's go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, welcome back to another episode of Combat and Kick It. And you know, this weekend is Mexican Independence Day, or Mexican Independence Weekend. It's the beginning of it, right? Everything, huge combat sports events tend to happen around this time. And it's always based around the Mexican heritage. And you know, every single time this comes around, Canelo Alvarez is fighting. And Canelo Alvarez this Saturday defends his WBA, WBC, and WBO super middleweight championships against Edgar Berlanga. Undefeated 27-year-old on the come up. Hasn't fought near the level of talent Canelo has. We all know that. But looking to make a statement Saturday night. The question is, can he, and how would he if he needed to, if he could? What's the situation? Where does Edgar Berlanga lie in that talent level, in that pool next to Canelo? Does he have what it takes to hang with Canelo? And here's my breakdown of it. If you look at that Canelo-Munguia fight, the last fight that Canelo had, it seemed like it was a competitive fight, right? Watching it the first run through, you're watching it live and everything like that, seemed competitive. Munguia was staying in the pocket, he was forcing the pressure on Canelo, something you don't typically see a lot of guys do against Canelo. Canelo's a fantastic counterpuncher. He will wait for you to make a mistake and catch you with some shots. He caught Munguia with some good shots, some beautiful uppercuts, some good left hands, dropped them a few times. But what I noticed running him back this time, that man was holding him up a lot of the fight. He was carrying Munguia through the fight. A lot of it, if you really pay attention, he was carrying through the fight, especially in the last few rounds. He rocked Munguia with a huge, I don't know if it was a left uppercut or a right uppercut, but it was in tight, and Munguia started leaning on him. He was basically holding him up. I think Canelo is one of those fighters where if he's in there, he's got the data downloaded on you, he's picking you apart, or at least seeing how he can pick you apart. He'll let you throw every single thing you have in your arsenal, and then he will start to attack. And once he starts to attack, it's around 7, 8, 9, 10. You're already gassed. Your arms are tired. You're feeling weak. And here's the thing. You can't keep your arms up against a guy like Canelo, because a guy like Canelo is just going to punch you in the bicep a million times until your bicep swells up. I forgot who he did that to, but he did that against somebody. He had his whole arm swelled up, right? There is a certain style, certain IQ, certain skill set that Canelo has where it's just, it's really unmatched in the division right now, right? Now, I always talk about big threats. I always think David Benavidez is a big threat. I'd rather see David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez on this card. If you're talking about a massive card, a very big card that also has other fighters like Munguia is on this card. Munguia is on this card. Caleb Plant is on this card, right? So you got other big name known fighters. You would think you would throw Canelo versus David Benavidez, the fight that people really want to see on here, but it's Edgar Berlanga instead. So for Berlanga, we've seen a couple fights where Berlanga has been open to getting caught with a left hand, getting caught with counter left hooks, counter lefts right down the middle. It does seem like he leaves himself open in a lot of his combinations to get caught with that. Now, people say he's a power puncher, and I'm not going to disagree, but I also don't see him having the threatening power to put a guy like Canelo out, put a guy like Canelo away. I don't see it. That's why Canelo's coming in as a minus 2,000 favorite. Minus 2,000 favorite. You want to know why? Because he's beaten everybody that you can come up with that's a big name, right? He's lost a couple fights, but he has beaten every guy that's a big name that has been in front of him, right? You're looking at Edgar Berlanga. His last fight was Padraig McCrory, who was undefeated at the time, right? And he got the finish against him. But who? Edgar Berlanga believes he poses the biggest threat to Canelo. And the thing about it is it's another fighter coming up against Canelo saying they pose a threat to him, bringing the exact same style of another opponent that he's seen before. He's seen every style you could bring to him, right? Unless you have some defensive sound technique, or you're bigger than him, stronger than him, faster than him, you're going to have a long night. You're going to have a long night, right? Bivol's technical skill was everything that led him to get that victory against Canelo. He was able to do all the things he wanted to do, right? He didn't let Canelo play Canelo's game, stay too distant. He wasn't missing the shots that Canelo usually makes people miss and stuff like that. I can totally see Canelo making Berlanga miss multiple times this Saturday night and making him pay for it. I truly do. Like, it's just the way he fights. You go back to the Billy Joe fight where, you know, it was the same thing. He was beating him the whole fight, right? But he was kind of downloading that data, and he was landing that uppercut all night until he threw the kill shot and broke an orbital bone on Billy Joe. You know, these are things that Canelo is so skilled with. And if you're looking at Berlanga and against a guy like Canelo, like I said, Canelo's been in there with the top of the top. He's been in there with everybody that you can be in there with. Stylistically, it's hard to beat a guy like that. Berlanga has not. He's young. The only thing that he is extremely hungry because he's young, on the come up. But you cannot come into this fight overconfident in your skill set when you haven't fought nobody on the same level as Canelo. Nobody that's as fast as Canelo. Nobody whose defense is as sound as Canelo. And here's the thing. Say Berlanga starts off with some early success, 1 through 4, right? 1 through 4, Berlanga's landing some shots here and there. He's being successful. What he is going to do is stick to that exact same flow, that exact same game plan that seems to be working through these first few rounds. But what he doesn't understand is the IQ of Canelo is just extremely high level, especially in that ring between experience and the skill set and the coaching. The IQ, the adjustments to be made will be made. And I can almost sit back and predict it would be a finish between 6 to 10. Somewhere between 6 to 10 I could predict a finish. Especially if Berlanga is starting off with success. Unless he's starting off with power shots and rocking and wobbling Canelo, which we have yet to see, I don't see it happening, right? He has to have early success, and if he has early success, he's going to believe that's going to get him all the way to the end, and it's not. That's how I feel. That's how I break down this fight. From seeing other fights that he has been in, right, he does seem like he's more of a pressure fighter. He's got a decent jab, works the body here and there, not a lot. Doesn't seem like he throws a ton of combinations, and he's not extremely fast. But like I said, he is known to be a power puncher. He has a little bit more pop in his shot. But I don't think he has that pop in his shot that's going to finish Canelo. You know, Berlanga was sitting there predicting that at the last press conference, he was predicting that he was going to have a more successful run than Caleb Plant did against Canelo. And if you remember the Caleb Plant matchup, yes, Caleb Plant lost. Yes, he was losing every round, but he didn't do awful. You know what I'm saying? You see the heart in there. You see that he has skill. You see that he has IQ. The thing that Caleb Plant don't have is crazy heavy hands, right? And, you know, he's got certain stiffnesses and stuff like that I feel like when fighting a guy like Canelo, you can't be stiff in those moments. You can't be stiff in certain combinations and certain times when you're trading with a guy like Canelo. But he stayed in there and did his thing. But Berlanga predicts that he is going to have a better night. Now, a better night might just mean that you don't get finished, that you do go all the way to decision, whatever the case may be. But I am predicting 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 KO by Canelo. And KO specifically, right? Not KO, TKO, whatever. It's specifically KO, is a plus 350. Right? So if you're trying to make a little bit of money, that's really the only route that you can go trying to make money on Canelo, unless you can get some sort of same game parlay where you can do Canelo by KO, TKO, round 7, round 8, round 9, whatever the case may be, so you can stack the odds a little bit. But if you're just trying to make a little bit of quick money and throw a quick bet down, I would throw Canelo down for KO. It's a plus 200, I think, if you just do KO, TKO. So, I mean, either way, it's a little bit of something. It's somewhat plus odds because you can't just bet money line. Minus 2,000 ain't going to get you nothing. You bet $10, you'll win one. Like, it's nothing. So, definitely don't waste your time betting on the money line. If you're trying to throw some, throw like maybe a 3-leg parlay down, you could probably do Caleb Plant, Jamie Munguia, and Canelo Alvarez. Probably give you decent odds, probably win a little bit of money, but can't guarantee you that. But the boxing on Saturday night is stacked. It's a very good card. They really did well for the Mexican Independence Day card, competing with the UFC Sphere card on Saturday as well. So we got a stacked night of fights for us combat fans. So you already know. What I can say to you is I wish you enjoy your Saturday night because it is going to be a fantastic fight. Happy Mexican Independence Day to all the Mexicans out there, all the Mexican fighters, everything. It's going to be very fun to see this, to see the UFC with the Sphere and all the Mexican heritage from fighting, like specifically the fighting heritage starting from day one. Going into the future, I'm so curious on what they mean about going into the future, that they're going to be playing a movie all the way through. So we'll see. But I had to come through with a little bit of a boxing episode because this Saturday is such a big combat night. I had to have a breakdown for both. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, share, and then hit the bell notification button so you know when the next episode is out. And I will catch you on the next episode. Your boy Bando is out.